Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to How to Double Your Revenue and Profit, presented by myself, Palm Bangle. I'm the MD of My Build Estimate. This afternoon, we're going to be looking at how you double your revenue in your business and then how you increase your profitability as well. We get asked this a lot within our business, within My Build Estimate, within our coaching business. And it's the two fundamental pieces that everyone's always looking to improve on. And so you should be when you're running a successful business. So where are you right now? You might be struggling to attract enough clients to sustain the growth that you're looking for. You might be losing tenders due to pricing strategies that don't align with the market needs and what the actual market needs out there in construction. You might be plateauing in revenue and profit despite making the effort that you should be to grow that business. And we're seeing that a lot, especially in the construction market today. We're seeing a lot of people actually plateauing because of the opportunities available, or sometimes the lack of. Lacking a streamlined sales process to drive turnover, and struggling with inefficient project management, which is inevitably leading you to reduced profits. Now imagine that you're winning 50% more work because of the pricing strategies that you put in place. You're attracting a steady stream of clients that are coming through all the time. You're doubling that revenue because you've optimized that sales process, and you're increasing your margins by 10-20% with an efficient project management process, which we'll also be looking at in more detail, and running a thriving business that grows year on year. When we look at businesses, we ask them, what are your growth strategies? How much are you looking to grow, and where are you looking to go with that? So I'm sure if you look at where you might be now and where you want to go, you're going to need a new strategy, and that's going to be very, very important. So how do you get there fast is the question that we get asked by most people. You've got to become a highly trained business owner who understands how to attract new clients through marketing, through networking, through whatever strategy you decide is the right one for you. Maybe a mix. Wins 50% more work through the right pricing strategy, which is key to the success of any construction business. Doubles turnover with an efficient sales process, because again, we see so many people that don't have the correct sales process in place. And boost profits by efficiently managing that and managing your projects. So here's what we're going to be looking at today. Effective marketing to find more clients and attract people to your business, pricing strategies that actually win more work, and doubling your turnover through sales, and managing the estimating process and the project management process so you see higher profit margins. Why focus on revenue and profit? Well, they're the most important things in any business. If you're not increasing your revenue and you're not increasing your profit, you're not going to be running a successful business. It's going to be stale, it's going to be declining, and unless you're looking at revenue and profit detailed, every month, every 6 months, every year, you're never going to be able to get the growth and the profit that you need. So that's why you need to focus on it. Why now more than ever before? Well, the market's changing. The construction industry isn't the same as it used to be. And the opportunities are available out there, but they're not always as easy to get as they were before. So the market's changing, and along with that, you have to change your strategy. There's a massive opportunity in the marketplace right now for the people that are doing it right. And if you get them processes right now, you can see the benefits of that. You want to become a business owner that finds and attracts the right clients. And when we talk about right clients, we're talking about the ideal client. Who's the ideal client for you? What do you specialize in? What kind of clients are you looking for? You need to make a list of that. What does your ideal client look like? What are their interests? And how do you find that type of person? There's no point in saying, I need more clients, without actually saying who that client is. What is that type of client that you're actually specifically looking for? You win more work through competitive pricing strategies. Now, we'll talk about this in more depth shortly. You double your business turnover with an optimized sales process. Again, what does your sales process look like? The amount of builders and contractors that I meet on a day-to-day basis that tell me that they get an estimate done or they get a tender done and they send it over to their client and they never follow it up again. That's not an efficient or an optimized sales process, and that will not work, especially in today's market. So it has to be optimized. Increasing your profitability with streamlined project management processes. Again, thinking that you can do an estimate, you can win a job, and then you can get on with the project and you'll make a profit and hope that at the end, without any key metrics or KPIs in place, that you're going to make the profit you want, isn't going to happen. You have to have your eyes on the numbers. You have to understand how to efficiently manage a project. And that's what you have to do to become a successful construction business owner. So who am I? My name's Parm Bangle. I'm the managing director of My Build Estimate, construction and business expert, entrepreneur. I've been running my businesses for a decade and a half now. I'm a keynote speaker, so I go out and speak on stages up and down the country. Family man, got 2 daughters, and run My Build Estimate and just growing business. My background specialism is in costing projects, hence My Build Estimate, and we're just continuously looking for growth. It's obviously not always been like this. If you look at the decade and a half, I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on training programs, sales processes, improving business coaches, and I've done a lot to get ourselves to a position where we are today, which is a very fortunate position, and it can be like this for everybody. So have you ever been in a position where you thought you had it all right, but in fact you didn't have it the way you wanted it and you had it wrong? Well, you might be thinking that now. You might be in that process now, and you might be looking to improve, and that's why you're sat here today with us. There's nothing special about this process, but there's something very special about the system that we've created that enables you to go through a streamlined process. And we've created a system that's trusted by hundreds and hundreds of clients, and it helps you to achieve the success that you need in your business. A little bit about My Build Estimate. We're the UK's leading estimators. We offer bespoke, tailored estimates for your needs. We offer up to 24-hour turnaround times, and we help you win more work and increase your profitability. So the biggest mistakes that hurt revenue and profit: ineffective marketing that fails to attract clients. Some people have marketing strategies, other people don't. You might be sat there and you have a marketing strategy in place. You might not do any marketing at all and just rely on word of mouth. Well, whatever that is, you have to have a plan. So you have to have some kind of marketing plan. If your marketing plan is to get referrals, then you have to fine tune that plan and look at other ways that you're going to bring and attract new clients in. People that don't have proper pricing strategies, they lose tenders. And we see it day in, day out, week in, week out. Lack of defined sales processes. Well, people do not, the amount of people we see that don't have a sales process in place, and that's killing your business on a day-to-day basis. Poor project management leading to profit loss is a massive problem in our industry. We're seeing people not making the profit they should be making simply because they're in a position where they don't efficiently manage their sites. And that means it's taking money out of your pocket every single day. Ignoring opportunities to use technology. Technology is all around us. It makes us more efficient. It makes project management easier. It makes winning tenders easier. It makes attracting clients easier. You have to utilize technology. It's essential that you avoid these mistakes. And it's really important as a business owner, you establish what mistakes you're making currently. the first step is always to go, right, what does my sales process look like? And if it's not good, then you have to look to improve it. But unless you tell yourself and you say, I don't have a good process, you're never going to be able to make it any better. So how to double your revenue and profit? Efficiently market to attract more clients. Well, putting a marketing strategy in place is key. Now, your marketing strategy might be Google, it might be pay-per-click, it might be Facebook, YouTube. There's so many different ways to market to clients. When you're marketing to a client, when I spoke about ideal clients earlier, you can't just market to anybody. You have to understand the type of person or the type of people you're looking for. Now, on this webinar, there's going to be individual tradespeople, there's going to be small contractors, there's some medium-sized contractors, and there's going to be large contractors. No matter what size you are, you need to think about who that ideal client is. So if there's any task that you go away and do today, do the task of figuring out who your ideal client is. Once you've figured out who that ideal client is, you can then step away and go, right, how do we market to our ideal client? If your ideal client is a specific type of person, you have to think about what are that person's interests. And then you target their interests to look at where you go and where you place yourself to ensure you get that type of client. So putting a good marketing plan in place is very, very important. So you're attracting the leads that you need. The more leads you get into the business, the better. The more leads you get into the business, the more likely you are to increase your revenue. Pricing projects strategically to win more work. Now, when we talk about pricing projects strategically, people always think about the estimating process. Well, actually, I just got to make sure all my quantities are right. I've got to make sure all my costs are right. That is one piece of pricing a project efficiently. As part of that process, you also have to have a very good understanding of your client and what your client needs. When we talk about sales process and pricing things strategically, have you gone out and had a meeting with your client? Do you understand what their drivers are? Do you understand what they're looking for? Do you understand what their deliverables are? You know, when you go out and do a site visit, do you understand what they actually like, what they're actually looking for? You know, there's lots of different clients. You might be doing work for someone that's flipping a house or renting a house. Well, their deliverables are going to be entirely different to someone that's looking to extend their house or build a new house for their family. You need to figure out what the deliverables are for each and every client. And then you work your sales process and you price your project strategically around them points. If you know someone's renting a house out, unless it's next door to Buckingham Palace, they're not going to want a high spec. They're probably going to want an average to low spec. They're probably going to be price driven. So then you know what your strategic pricing needs to look like. On the other hand, if you're in a position where you're doing someone's personal home that they're going to live in for the next 20 years, their deliverables are going to be entirely different. So you have to go away and understand your client so that you can price them projects strategically to be able to actually win them, not just put a price together where you put a price together for the sake of putting a price together to put an estimate in and then moan off the back end because you haven't won the project, and you haven't won the project because someone else has actually understood the client's deliverables and put them in place. So it's really about getting to know and getting to understand your client. Again, that's how you optimize your sales process in order to double your turnover. There is work available out there. It's not that there's not out there. The thing is optimizing that sales process. You market, you bring more leads in. You bring more leads in, you understand them clients. You understand them clients, then you make sure your pricing is bang on. Once your pricing's bang on, you optimize that sales process. You know, what is your sales process? Is your sales process going to see the client, pricing the project, sending them over the pricing email, and then giving them a phone call after 7 days to see how they got on with it. That's a process, but that's not an optimum process. Your sales process may be, and this is just me going off the cuff, it might be go and speak to the client, understand what their deliverables are, speak to your estimator or your estimators, go through the pricing of the project, understand what you're delivering to the client, contact the client, arrange a meeting, hand over the estimate, and go through it with them, possibly line by line. Help them to understand why you're the best person for the job. And then look at the process after that. What's the follow-up process? I'm going to leave this estimate with you. I know that there's been a lot of information to take in here, but within the next couple of days, I'm going to give you a call just to make sure you haven't got any questions. If you've got any questions in the meantime, please do not hesitate to give me a call, and then put a follow-up process in place. Do you follow them up after 2 days, after a week, after 2 weeks? What questions do you ask them? That's a proper sales process. Do you then add them to an email funnel so you've got their data so that you can ensure you get the referral business, even if you do win that job? If they tell you that they're not going to proceed with the project because they're putting the project on hold, what's your process for following that up? There has to be a sales process in place, because if you do not have that process in place, you can't increase your turnover. And then it's about managing them projects efficiently to boost them profit margins. Again, the amount of people that win a job and they just crack on, order the materials willy-nilly, have the subs on as subcontractors on as they need to, and actually haven't got any process around that management either. Just running around from site to site and actually haven't got the efficient processes in place to ensure that you manage your projects efficiently, you understand how the process works, and you can actually grow the business. Because if you get them project management pieces right and in place, you can grow the business, because you've got the strategic moves to be able to know that I don't need to go to every site every day, because I've got the project management pieces in place to ensure that my people on site are delivering the information back to me in the way I want to see it on a daily basis. So I'm in the loop. So it's really important for you to get them project management efficiencies in place right now. An example of consistent branding and marketing. So we've just taken our own business here. If you look at the picture on the top left, that's our website. Bottom left is my email signature. The middle section is our Instagram. The top right is our construction club that we run on Facebook. And the bottom right is an example of our estimate. Now, if you look at that, it's branded consistently. It's branded consistently. The logos look the same. The color deliverables are the same. It makes you look professional. Now, clients now are driven by how your business looks. If you look good and your social look good, your emails look good, your brochures look good, the client feels as if you're going to be able to deliver something to them better than the next builder. And if it doesn't look good, I think they'll sit there and question why it doesn't look good. So to be a step ahead of the game, you have to make sure that your branding and your marketing is consistent so that you can drive more traffic. People have that faith that you can do what you need to do. So how to double your revenue and win more work? You've got to improve that lead generation process, refine your sales process, understand the client's needs, and put an effective follow-up process in place. So again, these are some of the things I would ask you guys to guys and girls to go away and think about. How do I improve the lead generation? How do I refine my sales process? How do I get a better understanding of my client's needs? What does my forms and my questions look like when I go and see a client? How do I put that effective follow-up process in place? If you haven't got these things in place, you need to start putting them in place, and it's very important to start putting them in place. Get your pricing right. Again, this is something that we help thousands of clients with. Our business is about helping clients win more work, by pricing your projects accurately, and that's what we're here to do. Just to run through some of our costing templates and why they're there and how they help you through the sales process. So you might have a client that phones you up and says, I've got a project that I'm looking to do. We haven't had any drawings yet. I want to do a 10x4 extension at the rear of my house. What do you think it's going to cost? Well, if you do something like an outline cost, which has our very basic costing, price per square meter with some fluctuations in there. It's like the document you see in the middle of that page. You're nurturing the sales process. You're getting in early, you're providing some early feedback, and they trust that they're going to go through your process. Well, you're already in a position of power against other people, because that client is going to trust, because you've helped them through the process right from the start, that they can trust you. So that's the first level of service we do. The second level of service is our standard estimate. It's a step up from the outline. It's not quite a full estimate, but it provides all the sections in a level of depth. So substructure, superstructure, roof to a certain level of detail. You'll see ground floor, foundations, brickwork, roof, sundries, gutters. You'll see everything in there to a certain level of detail. Now, this is sort of when your client's gone through the planning process but hasn't quite hit the building reg stage. Again, you're just adding a little bit more meat to the bones there. You're helping that client to understand a step closer how to get to the pricing point that you're gonna be at. But through this, you're nurturing that sales process. You're talking to your clients. Have I understood this correctly? Is this what you're looking for? I understand you want a really nice kitchen. Oh, you said you're looking for a nice aluminium, bifold door that's really wide, or I'm looking for a large roof lantern. It's a way of getting to understand that client better and nurture them through that sales process, and providing feedback, because ultimately you're the professional. As much as the client knows what they're looking for, you also need to provide that advice. And some bits they might go with, other bits they might not. But it's about providing that step-by-step guidance to someone so that you're front runner to win the project when it comes about. The full estimate, this is all bells and whistles. We price everything in there. It has the qualifications, assumptions, exclusions. It has everything broken down into detail. And this is when your client's got a full set of drawings. Now, that would include structural and a good understanding of what they want in terms of specification. Now, when you look at this, some people say, well, why would I want a full estimate? The amount of feedback we get on a full estimate to say how easy it was to read and understand is probably, 10 out of 10 for most clients. When you've got a client that doesn't understand the construction industry, naturally our industry has had a bad reputation for cowboy builders and this, that, and the other now, and rogue traders. You do not want to put yourself in that bucket. What we try to do and separate ourselves by putting the detail in place. And again, in your own estimates, you've got to make sure the detail's in there, because you're giving that client a level of service that they would expect. It's been delivering that level of trust. I've put everything in there. It's black and white. We've got nothing to hide. We're showing you. It's simple to understand. And if you get that opportunity to go in during the sales process and hand this over, it puts you in the front running, because a person can see you've gone to the effort to make sure everything's in there. You've gone to the effort of understanding the whole process to help you to win more work. And that's how you're going to deliver an increase in revenue. It's by putting that effort in to grow your business. A little bit of a deeper look at the full estimate. Obviously, we have a labor, materials, and a markup in there, which is split into the rates and the totals. So you can see the rates and the totals. So if you look at a specific item, you might have a decoration item there. You can see the labor allocation, the material allocation, the markup allocation, and then you can see the totals. So the labor total, the material total, and the markup total. Now, when we talk about efficient processes, we're giving you a document here where we're showing you what labor we've allocated, what materials we allocated, and what markup we allocated. Well, by going through this document, as you go through the project management process, you know what your budgets are. So, you know, if you look at that item there, I can see there's £10,545 in for labor for the decoration. But if you've got to bring in on a subby to do your decks, well, you know, I've got 10K there. If I can bring it in any cheaper, it's a bit of extra margin. You know what your allocation is on the materials. This helps you to ensure that you can make the project management efficient and make sure your buying's efficient. Again, what we try to do with clients is say, let's turn this into a materials list. We'll turn your estimate into a materials list. You'll then take that materials list to 3 builders merchants. You'll get the best prices. You'll then try and negotiate with the best one, and you'll make that your buying list. Once they've got that order on account, all your people then need to do is call off what they need. They're not negotiating anything. There's no surprises. They already know, the merchant already knows you've placed an order for all this stuff, and my guys are going to give you a reference and they're going to call off the stuff. All these rates should be pre-agreed. They should be negotiated at the front end. The amount of contractors that I meet that buy things ad hoc, willy-nilly, as things go on, and then they wonder why they're not making any money. Because if you're rushing into Jewson's or Travis Perkins or MKM or wherever you're going, and you're going, oh, I need 10 plasterboard, there's no guarantee that you're getting the price that you should be getting. What you want to do is you want to ensure that you've already pre-agreed them rates. They're profitable rates that you use at tender stage to win projects, and then off the back of it, you're ordering based on them rates. And that's really, really important, because these little fine-tuning pieces within the process will help you to be in a position where you understand, how do I procure my subcontractors? How do I procure my guys? How much time allocation is on this? Well, this shows you, you know, there's £10,545. Now, we're talking about subcontractors. You know what your subby rates need to be. If you're doing it on day work, or you've got lads in house that do the decorating, well, you know how much your labor allocation is to that. If you guys are charging £200 a day, well, okay, I can allocate 10 days to that. You then make it very clear, right, guys, we've got 10 days to allocate to this. And you're making that project management piece so efficient because everyone knows what the deliverables are. So based on this one efficient estimate process, you can make the sales process better, and you can make the project management process better. And we're just touching on a few things here. You know, within 40 minutes, very hard to get in all the stuff that we need to get in. But on the back of this, we do P&L spreadsheets, so you can actually log your subcontractors' prices in against your P&L spreadsheets, and you can make sure you understand what these P&Ls look like. You can make sure you understand, right, if our decorating wasn't quite right on this job, why? If we didn't make the money we expected to on the decorating on this job, why? Is that because on the next job, we need to look at increasing them rates? The one thing we hear off so many people is, we need to increase the rates. You can't just keep increasing rates. There might be areas within the estimate that you're high. There might be areas within the estimate that you're low. The important thing to understand is getting the right consistent pricing throughout. And that only comes through the feedback loop. And what we call the feedback loop is, right, we didn't get this right, so next time we need to increase that rate by 20% to ensure that we get it right. But actually, we were a little bit high on this side, so we need to take that down a nudge. And that's the feedback loop. That's what helps us become more efficient and become more profitable, and ensure that we're increasing revenue and profit. Using your estimate during construction to improve your profitability. Again, understanding your project P&L, materials list, and negotiating them best prices. Refine your cash flow and use the document for valuations. So when we do an estimate at the back end, if you want, we can turn it into a valuation document, Again, you put the percentage complete against the segments every single month. What this helps with is, right, I'm 10% complete on that, I'm 20% complete on that, I'm 30% complete on this. And you know what you've spent. I've spent this on this subcontractor, I bought this material, this is what management's cost me. Well, at that point, if your valuation is less than what you spent, you know you've got a problem. But if you don't know that information, you can't make any changes to the project. There's no point in going for a 3, 6, 9, 12-month project and then figuring out in the last month that you ain't going to make any money on it. You need to be knowing that from month one so that you can change things, adapt, and turn it into a profitable project, not just walk around with your eyes closed, hoping that at the end of the project, we're going to be in a position that we're either making profit or we're making a loss. It's a step-by-step process to ensure I know this project's profitable. That's running at 7%. That's running at 9%. I know where everything's at. We need to look at leaning up. Maybe you need to go and speak to your suppliers and get a few better deals. But at least you can do something to bridge the gap and make it better. Put an effective communication strategy in place. Again, this is communication between everybody, yourself, subcontractors, your suppliers, and your client. It's everyone needs to understand the process and understand what's going on. Effective communication is what's going to help you get them referrals. If someone feels like they've had what they want in terms of deliverables, when we're talking about clients, they're going to refer you. You're going to get referrals to other clients because the communication was good. And again, that helps to grow revenue. Creating the perfect strategy. So you've got to define, that's the first thing, setting clear goals for client acquisition and turnover. If you know what turnover you're looking to hit, and you should know this, when you come into a January, you should know, I want to hit this turnover. Then you have to bite-size chunk that up. Right. Okay, so I need £1 million turnover. That's 10 upon £100,000 jobs. How am I going to find 10 £100,000 jobs? You've got to develop the pricing strategies that aligned with market needs. The benefit we offer when we're doing estimating services is that we hear very quickly on the market what's going up, what's going down in price, and we make them adjustments straight away. You have to optimize that sales process for maximizing efficiency. If your sales process isn't working right now, you're winning, 5 in 10 jobs or 6 in 10 jobs or 2 in 10 jobs. What in that process do people not like and why? And how do I improve that to make that process better? Streamline your project management processes to reduce costs and improve their margins, and continuously track and adjust. Everything I've been talking about, you constantly got to be looking at it. How do I track it? How do I adjust it? How do I make it better? So define, develop, optimize, streamline, and continuously just keep tracking and adjusting. That's how you create the perfect strategy. So how do you ensure that the strategy is right? You use accurate market data to give guide prices and market rates. Well, you have to understand the market. You've got to evaluate the sales process and the project management processes. You've got to look at where you are now and where you'd like to be. How does that look? How do I make it better? Focus on client communication and feedback. Speaking to your clients and understanding what they've been happy with, what they've not been happy with. How many times do you ask your client, how would you like us to communicate with you and how often? Very simple question. But unless you know that at the front end of the project, how are you going to keep your client happy? If they go, right, I'm going to sign a contract and I want to update on this project every week, and you wasn't planning to do that and you was only planning to do it once a month, they're not going to be very happy because they're not got what they were expecting. Likewise, if you're delivering something every week and they only wanted it once a month, you also haven't done what you needed to do. So understanding how often and how the client wants to be communicated to is really important. And then tracking success through revenue, profit, and client acquisition metrics. You've got to track everything. You've got to track all the numbers. It's very, very important. People are learning these skills every day and taking their businesses to new levels. I'm coaching people on a very regular basis about how to improve this process. We price, almost 100 jobs a week out of our office. We have thousands of clients, so we understand how this process works, and we're always refining our process, and we're always refining how things look to make it as efficient as possible. But if we're making your estimates as good as we can for you, you have to make sure you put the meat on the bones around the rest of it. It's an easy and simple process to follow, and we can help you with this step by step, and that's what we're here to do, and that's what I'm here to do, is to help you through that process. My mission is to help you attract more clients, so that we can make our estimating process better, and we can win more clients off the back of that. Equip you to win more work through strategic pricing. Ultimately, the more work you win off the back of our estimating, the more work we're guaranteed to get later on down the line, which is what we're looking for. Support you in doubling your turnover and your profit. It's not inachievable. It's very achievable. From, turning the cogs a few bits here and there, you can make everything much more efficient, and guiding you through managing them projects more efficiently, so you can go out there and win more work and just be more prudent in the way that you approach things. So how to become a winner? You got to build them strong relationships. You got to focus on the quality and the innovation in your business. You got to be adaptable and forward thinking. You got to always be thinking about, how am I going to make this better? How do I do more? It's really, really important. 5 things you need to succeed. Motivation to achieve more. You've got to be motivated to want more. Detailed and simplified training, step-by-step support. Understand who you've got around you to support you, whether that's myself, whether that's your estimating department, whether that's your estimators that you go out to, whether that's your subcontractors, your team, your suppliers. Everyone has to support you. Taking accountability. If things don't go right, where are you accountable in that? And making sure you're consistent in your approach. The way we support you will guide you through the process and give you a comprehensive support at every stage of your journey. We're contactable by pretty much every means possible. Offices in Northamptonshire, you can come and make a meeting with us and come and visit us. We're on all social media platforms. You can call us, you can text us, you can WhatsApp us. We're available on Zoom. However you want to contact us, we're here to support you. 5 ways to become a construction business owner who doubles their revenue and profit. Have a winner's mindset. You've got to believe that you can do it. Develop a well thought out strategy. When you go away today, think about your strategy and work on that strategy. Set up efficient business systems so everything works the way. If you've got a sales process, make sure it works that way every single time. Implement effective processes and utilize coaching services. I offer one-to-one coaching and group coaching to construction and trades businesses to help them develop these processes, to help them win more work, and to help them become more profitable. So utilize coaching services around you, because there are people out there that understand how to put these systems in place and have done for multi-million-pound businesses. We do mastering your strategy in a day. If you're eager to get your strategy right, we can help you put the system in place. We have a 1-day event that we run. If you're looking for one-to-one coaching, give me a shout. We're around. We're here to help. We want to help you be better. So contact us today. If you've got any further questions or you need any further assistance, please send us an email, book a call in. Always happy to have a chat. You'll see a QR code there on the screen. Visit our pages, connect with us on the socials. We're always putting content out there on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We're out there. We're always putting helpful, valuable information out there. On our YouTube, you'll see all the events that we run and all the content that we put out there. So we're not trying to hide anything. We just want to help you to be better. We want to get better, and we just want to help you and support you through the business. So we're at 40 minutes, bang on. I hope this evening's been helpful for you all. Again, if you've got any questions, please email them over. More than happy to help, more than happy to answer them. Have a lovely evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm sure we will catch up soon. All the best.